right, I can see it dead ahead, Mobile Bay, which means Mobile is on the other side of the water. Once upon a time, I used to live and work in Mobile. Very short, just for a few months. But out of college, you know, you're hungry for work, working hard, and it makes an impression. And every time I come through here, which is not very often, I certainly think of my time in Mobile. This town is the home of Mardi Gras. I know everybody associates Mardi Gras with New Orleans, but actually it's here in Mobile. If I didn't have a super long ride today, I would stop in Mobile just to retrace a few steps, but that's okay. I know where I've been. I used to live down that way. Down south is Dauphin Island. It goes way south. And I used to live off of Dauphin Island Parkway, maybe about 20 minutes south of the city proper, and commuted into town back and forth. All right, bye-bye to the outside world for a few minutes. Okay, I said I wasn't going to stop, but for what I saw from the highway made me get off at the next exit and backtrack a little bit. All right, short story. I used to work at the Mobile Municipal Auditorium. You know, it was like the sports arena in any big town. It wasn't terribly large, but it was the venue for basketball games and concerts and all that stuff, and it was kind of the epicenter of Mobile's Mardi Gras. What I saw from the highway, though, was this. I don't know if it's damaged, or it looks like they're just taking it down. Wow. Well, this brings back a few memories. Look at that. Just happened to glance over from the highway to get a view of it, and that's the part I saw, which of course, you know, was surprising to me. I mean, these things don't last forever. They have taken down how many stadiums over the years. And this one has been up a long time. I mean, we're talking early 1980s when I worked here. So you do the math. I guess it's kind of amazing that the Municipal Auditorium has stood for this long. To think I ran around all the levels of that, all up and down there. That's pretty amazing. There you go, the old overhead lights that once lit the floor of the arena and the stands. It's now a see-through venue. Well, I guess that's one way to get fresh air into the building. Yeah, that dome was kind of an iconic landmark for many decades. Amazing. Well, as we know, the only constant is change itself. So there's a little bit of personal history that is coming down. Good thing I stopped. You know, if I hadn't come this way, I would never have seen that again. Because by the time I come back through here, Old Municipal Auditorium will be gone. Wow. I even have somewhere the rolled up plans to that building. They were in a closet and they had maybe 30 sets of plans to this arena. So, yeah, I took one. Have it rolled up at home. Now that's a sight. Yeah, I was all around in that building. Someday I'll tell you the story about Lionel Richie and a pineapple. It happened in there. Oh my goodness. Well, the streets around here haven't changed. In fact, this was the parking lot that I used to park in. These old trees, yeah, they've been here for a long time. Wow. Well, at least I knew my way around. End of an era. Like it is for just about anything and everything in this world. All right, let's move on. We have to get to Texas. At least I-10 is right here. All right, so long, Municipal Auditorium. Some good times and good memories. Pretty much all you have to do is just roll right out of here and there's the ramp for I-10. Super duper convenient. And there's nobody down here. This area of downtown was always a little bit quiet. So we'll see what kind of revitalization project they do. Yeah, I'd go right up this ramp on the way home. Well, again, nice to have a small trailer because being very nimble and able to make all the turns and go through the narrow streets there, not an issue. The other thing that was really big in Old Municipal Auditorium was wrestling matches. Every weekend they had wrestling there, and wow, did they pack in the crowds. That was one of the most popular events, wrestling, every weekend. My goodness. And that was the first time that I had actually seen professional wrestling in person, and it was an experience, I'll tell you. Yeah, you had all the big names come through too. I mean, a lot of people who were kind of the not the top wrestlers, but every so often, you know, a Hulk Hogan type person would come through. Maybe he did too. I don't recall, but wow. Good times. And there's my exit coming up, Dolphin Island Parkway. I remember coming back after work in the middle of the night, the week that Owner of a Lonely Heart by Yes hit #1, their only #1 song. I don't know why I remember that, but that sticks in my mind. Yeah, for a short time, that was my sweet home, Alabama. Now, I don't mean to say that I was goofing off all the time. I worked really hard at all these events. The last one before I left was a Billy Idol concert. And now I see him on commercials. Oh, so you think you're a rock star, do you? Hilarious. I love those ads. See, it's this goofy little stuff that entertains me along the way. Plus listening to a lot of music, which I can't play on the video. Thank you, YouTube. But probably a lot of the same music you listen to, so that's how we get around that. Oh, yes, and the infamous Van Halen Eminem story. A lot of you may have heard this over the years about Van Halen and Eminem's backstage. Not Eminem the rapper, Eminem's the candy. And what they liked and didn't like. Well, I'll tell you now. They didn't like the brown and, you know, dark colored M&Ms. They wanted the bright colors because they felt the dark ones were not aesthetic. Well, they all taste the same, come on. But the problem is, with M&Ms, the majority of them in the bag were the dark ones. So in order to have enough M&Ms for the band... Alright, let's try that again. The battery died. So, in order for the band to have enough M&Ms backstage that were all different bright colors, you had to sort out the majority of the dark ones. It took a lot of M&Ms to achieve that. I think now they put more brighter colors throughout the bags than they used to. But back in the day, that was kind of a new thing. And oh my goodness, that was hard. I have to change lanes here, hold on. Alright. Always move over for people on the side of the road. But back in the day, it was a real chore. The upside of it is that we had a lot of M&Ms to eat. And all of us who were backstage had M&Ms for probably a full week and a half. That was a lot of candy, man. Wow. Plenty of stories out of old Municipal Auditorium. Now I'm gonna have to buy some M&Ms so I can have M&Ms out of the bag for the video. The things we have to do to put something together. Do other content creators have to go through this? I can't tell you the last time I bought a bag of M&Ms. Okay, we don't have that much farther to go to exit Alabama and make our short traverse of Mississippi.